Cheers, everybody, and welcome to the Tavern.
What's up, everybody?
Cheers.
Wow, you all look like you. We did not coordinate this tonight.
I don't know.
Do we have some product placement tonight?
Maybe. Yeah, Streaker Sports. After our trip to Augusta, we had to pick up these shirts.
I found them on Instagram, and we bought them immediately.
Like click, send, and they came in. So wanted to get them out there. Look at Dave.
Nice. It's got the whole menu on the back.
The whole menu. Really cool shirt, really comfortable. So yeah, no, Streaker Sports, thank you. These are great. We did buy them, so we're not telling you that we got them for free. We did buy these shirts because they're that amazing.
Yeah, so, this is one of those instant purchases. Like, don't care. I need this shirt now, and I'll tell you,
it may have been after a few of these green cups when these purchases got made.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've been looking at their stuff, and there's a few more shirts on there that I want to get. So fun stuff.
I'm pretty excited about the so I got that going for me, which is nice shirt.
I like their wiffle ball shirts. Like that's
I haven't looked at those. I have to go look at those.
They're with the wiffle ball brand. Those are some sweet shirts. But I do like I got this going for me. So
yeah.
All right. Well, so let's start off. What are you drinking tonight? Steve, what do you got?
Gatorade.
Gatorade. All right.
Gatorade Zero. Gatorade Zero.
I went transfusion tonight. I went with your go-to on the golf.
Yeah, the official golf drink of Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm drinking a brown ale from Highwire Brewery in Asheville, North Carolina.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, with the light coming through the back, Dave, you look very angelic too.
Well, you know,
now
let me go fix that.
Yeah, the sun's coming down.
I can only be so much angelic.
That's really bright back there in Iowa. Man, is this heaven?
Better than the snow conversation we didn't
use is this heaven right there? Come on. That was the perfect time for that quote.
Awesome.
I mean, we left heaven last week.
We did.
And we were in a place we went to heaven, and we stayed in a place that the PGA Tour followed us to this week.
Correct.
Yes. So
we can say that they're following the golfing. The tour is following the golfing down.
The tour is following the golfing down.
They're following the tavern.
And I think this week, Steve, they're in a place near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
On a course that I've played, actually. Played it the day before my wedding, funny enough.
So it's perfect. I almost got married at Harbortown. The only reason we didn't do it was they weren't going to shut down the 18th when we were giving our vows. So it was like, I don't need a stray golf ball flying over the 18th and hitting us.
I wasn't playing, though. I was in the wedding.
That is true. But you were there for the rehearsal and saw the scuba diver that walked by us on that golf course.
That is true.
Like that we, Steve, you don't know this. I don't know if you've told you this story before, but we were at Port Royal on Hilton Head is where we got married, and we're doing the rehearsal, and we're in the middle of the rehearsal. All of us just stop and turn, and we're like, we all see the scuba diver in full scuba gear, not near a body of water, just walking across, right?
Yeah,
we all see that.
It's like Scuba Steve coming across.
It was. That's exactly what it was. But speaking of Hilton Head, my favorite.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. So I got my notary, which means when our buddy Pip gets remarried, I could actually be the officiant for his wedding.
Does he know that? Does he want
I don't know, but that is funny.
So. But this week on tour, my favorite non-major, the RBC Heritage.
Yes.
And man, was that a finish.
Can we also say we have the John Rahm doing in the booth doing commentary might be like needs
the greatest thing.
We 100%
that was
need
brilliant.
Yes.
That was brilliant. John and Amanda doing that broadcast was perfect. It was a light ending to the day, like, and they just kept running with it.
Yeah.
I think
John,
CBS
here's
is
a
just
headset.
like,
Stay and talk.
this works.
Stay and talk.
we have the
Maybe.
Masters
Hey, you know what I
champion.
think we need to do? John's a golfing dad. I think he needs to join us on the Tavern, and we can give him a microphone.
So we need John Rahm to come on here and talk about being a dad on tour. That would be. We'll take any pro.
Yes.
But a Masters champion would be fantastic. So
fantastic.
I mean,
can he wear his green jacket?
Jordan Spieth is more than welcome on the Tavern.
And he wants to. His first win as a dad was at RBC last year.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So, I mean,
nice.
I'm going to add this on here. This is last year when Jordan won, me and my son and me and my dad at the Heritage last year. We go all the time. So fun times at the Heritage. But, I mean, we do have to talk about, since this is a course that is near and dear to all of our hearts.
Yes.
18T. 17th tee.
We the 17th tee with our caddy Bones.
Yep. Bones.
This guy was awesome.
And
awesome.
Let's just point out here, this was in 2012, gentlemen. 2012.
And
11 years ago.
Funny enough, in 2012, in 2011 at the Heritage, this is the amazing thing about this event. They didn't have a title sponsor in 2011.
They did not.
The Heritage Foundation had enough in their funds to run it for 1 year, and they kept this tournament alive, and it has flourished since then.
Yes.
Since RBC has came in and made this such an amazing event.
Yep. So from two guys that used to live on the island and the three of us that have played the course, major props to RBC, for being the title sponsor at one of our favorite places to be.
And puts on just a fun event for families, a fun event for the tour players. I was so ecstatic when it became a designated event in the first round of making designated events.
Yes.
And that Fitzpatrick, someone who goes there with his family every year, has a Harbor Town head cover like this one right here on his clubs, wins it this year. I mean, that playoff, I'm watching it, and I didn't know who to root for. I wanted Spieth to win his second in a row because he's a great champion, but I was like, I also want Fitzpatrick's to win.
Did you see the video of Spieth's marker walking up to Jordan's grandfather and just saying, "Thank you for Jordan Spieth"?
No, I didn't see that.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like this 8 or 10-year-old kid just walks up to Spieth's granddad, during the round. He goes, "I just want to say thank you." And the granddad says, "For what?" "For Jordan Spieth."
You're welcome. I mean, and Jordan's a class act. And John Rahm said that yesterday in his broadcasting debut, that he didn't expect it, but Jordan was one of the first players that congratulated him and waited for him to get off of 18 at the Masters. Like, that just tells you the kind of guy he is.
Yeah. Well, and the Spieth and Fitzpatrick families were next to each other pretty much the entire round, and just the congratulatory handshakes and hugs that all of them had for one another after that round. It was great to see.
Yep. No, it was awesome. Can we talk about the shot on the fourth playoff hole?
The third playoff hole. There was only 3 playoff holes.
Oh, was there? I thought it was the fourth. Never mind.
Well, no, Dave said the fourth in our text chat, and I was like, no, that's the third playoff hole.
Well, then they played 18 twice, went back to 17, and then 18 again.
No, they played 18 as the 72nd hole. Then they played 18 again as the playoff hole. Then they went to 17. Then they played 18. So it was 4 times that they went through, but it was that was the third playoff hole. But the tee shots on the first time they played 18 and the second time they played 18, pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah. He hit that 9-iron on that last shot. It got a great bounce and a great roll.
I thought it was a pitching wedge. It was a 9-iron the first time he hit it when he hit it too long.
No, it was 9-iron. It was 9-iron again.
Oh, it was 9-iron again?
9-iron again. And he may have laid off of it a little bit, but that ball, hits 2 inches to the left and it's going the other direction.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's postage stamp greens. Like,
yep.
If you want to see the smallest greens you'll ever see on any golf course, Harbor Town.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
correct.
That 18 on TV,
not even close.
It looks like it's bigger just because it's like there's fairway that makes it look wider, but that green is tiny.
Well, and the other thing about Harbor Town is there are shots out there that you can get claustrophobic on real quick because it's so narrow.
Mm-hmm.
The whole golf course is.
I had yesterday and saying, like, how narrow is that golf course? And it's really narrow.
Really narrow. Yeah, it's not the bomb and gouge of the typical PGA Tour where you can just bomb it out there and just hit wedge in. Like it's a shot maker's golf course. You really have to golf a ball around there.
You know, considering the whole island is only 12 miles across, and that's on the most end tip of the island.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also how many golf courses on that island.
Correct.
Yeah.
So but such a beautiful place, such a great atmosphere. The Heritage Foundation, I can't give enough credit to for what they do every single year to put that on. I remember years back when you had to park on property there, and it was crazy to get into. But now that it's gotten more popular, they moved the parking, and they move people in and out there so efficiently now. So that I got to give kudos. I didn't even go this year, but I'm giving kudos to all the staff and the volunteers that work the Heritage because they are fantastic.
Well, you know, you and I know a lot of them, so
that's true.
Yeah.
And our buddy Lee was there this year. My dad went on Friday.
Yeah,
Lee went on Friday. They were all there to see this. My dad was standing behind Cantley when he hit the hole-in-one.
Ooh, awesome. What is with your dad and hole-in-ones lately?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's like 3 since we've been there.
But we didn't get one.
We didn't get one, no.
None of the luck came our way on that one.
No.
But who knows? That was such an amazing event. But now we got another event coming up.
Best food stop on the PGA Tour. Might be the best food week on the New Orleans, yes. Is
it?
Yes.
Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
Is it the best food start of the week?
Oh, golly. Char grilled oysters will start and stop with that. Acme Oyster House will be packed the whole week.
Steve, you went to Wild Wings 3 times last week.
Correct.
And you're going to say that...
And I think it was one time too many.
It was.
Acme Oyster House and the char grilled oysters at Acme are literally.
I do like Acme Oyster House.
Acme Oyster House is really good. Breakfast at Brennan's if you want a crab meat omelet. Like there's so many. Like can't pass up Cafe Du Monde beignets. Yeah. One of my favorite spots there, New Orleans Cigar Factory for some double wraps. Let's go sign those up and let's do it.
So let's talk about how this tournament's a lot different than what we see throughout the rest of the year. You know, you have something like the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which is unique, and now you have the Zurich Classic, which is a team event. And it's pick your poison or pick your partner on however you want to look at it.
Yep.
But I think Steve, we've all talked about this. I think this is, I know Zach Johnson's playing in this field, and it should have been, you want to play in the Ryder Cup, you come play in this event.
The President's Cup has said if you want to play in the President's Cup team, you need to show up and play Zurich.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot harder to force people to play Zurich because it's not because with the designated events, these guys are going to need to take. They're going to have to take some time off with the way the schedule has been so front loaded.
But is this last year for Zurich?
No. Okay. Zurich's in for the long haul on this. They're a PGA Tour title sponsor. So
yeah.
I think the idea that Zurich, the golf course, I'll be honest, it's a TPC golf course.
Yeah.
You can, as we go back to bomb and gouge, you can bomb and gouge. It's got some great holes on it. 9, the par 3. There's a really cool alligator out there nicknamed Tripod. He has 3 legs and hops around the golf course. But the golf course, the finishing hole, that was 16, 17, 18 are 3 great holes. 17 being the par 3, and then 18 the par 5 finishing hole on the water is awesome. And it's a really fun golf course and a fun atmosphere to be at.
Yeah.
Obviously, because you get to go hang out on Bourbon Street at night after you play golf.
Yeah, that's the thing about all these stops that they have. For the most part, they're a destination. Like, besides, like the Masters is not a destination. It's like it's Augusta, but like Harbortown, destination resort course. Zurich, destination resort course.
Right.
These are fun
Orlando
events
for Bay Hill. Like,
yeah. Like there's fun events on the tour that you can like make it as a family vacation and sneak out to a golf.
So let's talk some lines here. Let's get to my favorite line of the week. And I put a bet on this one. I did. It's coming in at
Daily Duval?
Daily Duval.
Yes.
It's not my pick this week, but I did put a bet in on it. It's 1,000 to 1 on John Daly and David Duval to win right now. I'm Big John, what's the course record? And I'm ready to go.
I like it. I
did put a bet. I had to. Big John, if you're out there, we're all behind you.
We're all big fans of Big John. And we've hung out with him before, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But that when I saw that John and Duval were together, like I was reading through the list of teams, and I was like, wait, I had to go back and look at it twice and be like, is that really a team?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I was so happy that those two. That's going to be a fun group on there.
Yeah, that should be a featured group playing through.
So, another group that I like the Joel and Denny group.
Yes,
I thought that was a good.
That's a good
combination. Those guys will have fun together out there.
They are 35 to 1.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. The odds on this, aren't astronomical across the board. Your top 3 is Shoffley and Cantley as a team at 4 to 1. Morikawa and Max Homa at 8.5.
My pick.
And Sungjae Im and Keith Mitchell at 14 to 1, which I found is an interesting pairing.
Right. Well, I went with my pick, and my pick was Morikawa and Homa. I went through a lot, and I was like, I like the way Colin has been playing the past few weeks. He's been getting up there, and Homa is always a great player. So,
all right, Steve, you got second pick.
I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna go with comment. 100%.
Sam Burns, Billy Horschel team.
Ooh,
good. 18 to 1.
I like that.
Sam Burns has been playing some really good golf, and I just don't want to bet against a dude from LSU that's played that golf course, I don't know, gajillion times.
Part of me wanted to go with Zach Johnson and Steve Stricker. I thought about it.
It's because you live in Iowa and you wanted to homer Zach. It's all right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the law firm this week.
The law firm.
The law firm of Kim and Kim.
Oh,
Kim and Kim, huh?
Not Jarvis Green Ellis.
Siwoo Kim and Tom Kim at 16 to 1.
I like that. It's a bold strategy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the law firm this week.
I like that you're going with the law firm. That's a good move.
Yeah,
good move.
And Bradley, you're right. Duval needs to do stuff to match Daly.
Yeah,
including Marlboro and Miller Lite.
And Squares golf shoes.
There you go. Yeah, just let's get everybody out there with those Squares golf shoes. Yeah, I would like to say that I am 5-1-5, 5 wins, 1 tie, and 5 losses so far. So, and I'm going for my hat trick this week with 3 in a row.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's all right. I have a lot of second place finishes. Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, we'll blame Victor Hovland for 78 on Saturday this week. That was should have gone with my first bet of the guy with the head cover.
Yeah,
that would have been a better pick.
Funny thing, my first I wanted to go with Spieth, but I was like, I don't think he's going to repeat. But I didn't think but if he gets up in the top 2, I would have been. But still got it with Scheffler. So, but all right. Well, with that, so let's move on to happy hour.
And for happy hour today, we want to welcome Corey Schneider to the show. Corey, thank you for joining us.
Hello.
How are we doing tonight? Good. So Corey, Corey, for those of you that don't know, Corey's from Revolve Golf Bag. You know what? I
just got to match Steve now, all the way around.
What are you doing here?
I put on my master's hat.
You put on your master's hat? Okay, cool.
Should I go get my master's hat now too? Give up my beer hat.
So Corey, first off, thank you for joining us, and really excited to have you here. The Revolve Golf Bag is a new. Look at him with his Master's Cup. Way to be
with you guys. I didn't want you to be alone.
Perfect. You got the green one too. You know what, Corey? While you're doing this, what I want to do, I'm going to send myself some pictures here. We're going to get them up. I was working on my day job and didn't have a chance to get these to myself. So we can show people what the bag looks like. But why don't you tell us about the history of Revolve? Where did it come from, and how did you start the company?
Well, during COVID, we were all stuck in the house, and I was in my garage with like 5 golf bags all filled with clubs. And I started lugging them around the garage, and I said, it would be great if this bag had some wheels on it that I could actually wheel it around instead of lugging all these big, heavy bags around my garage. So I took my little stand bag and I started drilling holes in the bottom and putting the lawnmower wheels on it. That's how it started.
Nice.
So yep. Now, Corey, you and I have talked. We all can hear the accent. So where were you playing golf, and how did this come about? Like the idea behind it.
Well, I played golf at Bethpage State Park in New York. I'm from New York.
I have walked that course, Corey.
Right. So you have to walk, and I had a 3-wheel push cart thing, and I always felt like I was pushing a shopping cart around the place, up hills, down hills. So this bag, I'm thinking about this bag, and it's perfect for Bethpage. You can carry it with the wheels on it. So if you get up by the green, you don't have to wheel all the way around the green. You can pick it up, walk over the greens. If the steep hills there, between some holes, there's a very steep hills. Instead of pushing it, I throw it on my shoulder. I walk. It's easier. So the bag came about mostly for Bethpage Black.
Well, I've walked that course for the U.S. Open. And I'm a Jersey boy. I'm from Jersey, so I'm right across from you. But that course is ridiculous. And with using your bag, Dave used it last week, and I got to play around with it as well. I didn't think about that, but that makes perfect sense that is for that course. Like, because that course makes the Masters Augusta look flat.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, I played with the Nassau Players Club, which our home course was the black. So every week we played the black. So
okay, I'm just jealous. So I
don't get the in-state residence.
So you kind of covered the design process. So you messed around in the garage, and then getting to where we are today with the product that's out there now. How did that design go from messing around in your garage with the wheels off the lawnmower to where we are today?
Well, I wanted to keep it a stand bag. So I wanted to keep it light. And then the wheels, we started designing the wheels with putting just sticking a metal frame around the bag to see where we could put the wheels that it was the lightest to wheel. And also, so they're out of the way, so the bracket's out of the way when you put it on a motor car. So that's basically how the design started, where the wheels are, how they're up off the ground, and how they're on the side of the bag, so that the handle could come up and use it like that. The moment of inertia, which is a weird way to talk, but that's what we try to work around.
Inertia is a big word for this show.
It really, truly is.
I'm an engineer by trade, so that's how we kind of try to make the wheels where they are on the side, so they're not in the way and not underneath the bag.
Well, as you said, you did this during COVID, and I'll say that during COVID, I was looking to buy just a push cart, and they were selling out everywhere. Like they were a hot
I
commodity.
tried so hard to get that out during COVID, but we couldn't get it done. By the time we went and got everything made, we just couldn't get it out in time.
But yeah, that was the perfect time to put something out there. Like that. And just even when you come up with it at that time, just because like COVID brought so many people to the golf course because it was something that you could do at that time. And having something like this now, that if you're continuing to do that and walk, you don't have to lug around two things now with your bag.
Right.
And here's the thing, Corey, and you pointed out, and like we'll get to this in a little bit, but I use the bag. We walked I used it on the die course, there at Carlton. I played 36 holes with it. I didn't even think about not pulling it and just like picking it up and carrying it around the green. And I don't know why I didn't think of it, because I used it as a traditional pull cart and got up there and set it down. I never even crossed my mind to be like, oh, I could pick this up and carry it too.
That was the main thing. I live down in Myrtle Beach now, and I also like it when it's raining and it's cart path only. So instead of me taking 10 clubs out because I never know what I need, I just throw the bag off the back of the cart, and I can wheel that bag anywhere. I can wheel it up to the green, around the green. I
there
can
you
carry
go.
it anywhere. So it's versatile.
Yep, there's me coming
there's
down.
Dave.
It's number 2.
Number 2 in Carlton, die course.
Have you ever seen Legend of Bagger Vance? That's the hole they tee off on.
Yep.
So there's the bag. And one of the things that I liked about it was that you could still use the stand functionality of it.
Yeah.
With the bag, Corey. So let me ask you, I know you and I talked briefly the other day about the handle and the construction of the handle and the wheels and things like that. What type of, how many times did you test handles and braking and things like that? How many times did that happen?
Well, we started with the handle, and it was only about half the size that it is now. And the frame only went halfway down the bag. And it wasn't sturdy at all, and it was very weak. So when you push the middle of the bag in, if you push a regular stand bag in, you could almost break it in the back. And that's what was happening with this bag. It was breaking in the back. So we designed the handle to go all the way down to the bottom. So the steel goes all the way to the bottom of the bag. And that bag now, you can throw it down the stairs. You can drop it 10 times on the floor. And it's sturdy and it's great. It's all aluminum, so it's light.
So
very light, yes.
Yes.
And surprisingly, once you start, when you start adding wheels and things like that and the handle on there, the bag was very light. So that it's amazing how light the bag is.
Yeah, even with my more than 14 clubs in there, it felt extremely light.
I got my bag packed with stuff. If I was going to walk all the time, you lighten up your load. You don't put a lot of stuff.
Right.
But
you have some good features on that bag that even for walking, like you have what you need. That's the good thing about a bag. But like you talked about, like you had 5 bags, and like our buddy Lee said only 5 bags because if you ever seen his garage, he has like 27. And he just got a new one too, which is a sick bag. But so how many prototypes did you go through to get to this bag?
Well, what we did was we 3D printed the base. This way we didn't have to keep spending money on injection molding. So we 3D'd the base a lot of times, and we just riveted the bag onto it, and we basically took it out and used it. So it took us 3 or 4 or 5 months to get it the way it is right now, pretty much.
Okay. And so like when you're going through this process and you're thinking about the bag in general, because you're putting 2 things together here, which is a great concept. And you talked about like having to go through the feature of the handle itself and the wheels, obviously, but what other features besides the wheels and the handle did you really want to focus on with this bag?
Well, I wanted to keep it a stand bag. My focus was for it to stay a stand bag, with the stand working perfectly. Like you guys said, if you see when it's standing, the wheels are off the ground, so they're not in the way. And there's a lot of travel bags and a bunch of other bags with wheels on them, but they're smaller. They're more under the bag. We have 3 patents on the base. We have design patents and utility patents that we got on the base. So, we just wanted to keep a stand bag with a bunch of pockets. And we put that little, not pocket, but the thing that holds the strap so that when you're walking, the strap's out of the way. That little Velcro strap that holds the carry.
Yeah.
Harness. And also I wanted to keep the double strap. So it's a carry bag. So.
Yeah. And I don't know why I didn't think about it being a carry bag, because I carried it from the parking lot to the golf course, like a normal carry bag. And it just never popped into my head. And, I just want to say after having used that, Corey, I thought it was an outstanding bag. I took my clubs out of my bag when we were in Hilton Head the whole week. That was my pull cart bag when we were walking, and it was my bag when it was riding around in the back of a golf cart. And, kudos to you. It was fantastic. I love testing it out.
A lot of women, the women like the bag more than the men. Because
that makes sense as to why Dave liked it.
I was waiting when he said that. I was waiting for Dave.
That's not what I meant, Dave.
Let's say that, Steve.
Wow. Corey, thank you for teeing me up for that one.
I'm just saying, men like it too. But my wife plays, and she loves to walk it from the car. She wheels it from the car. She doesn't have to carry it. And she wheels it around the course, and I have a lot of juniors, a lot of high school kids. I live in Myrtle Beach, so we have a lot of golfers down here. And I got it in a lot of the high schools, and they love it. Yeah, and the high school kids like it because they like to carry, and then they can walk it, and it just serves a lot of purposes, the bag.
So one thing Dave and I said when he was walking around with it, we were kind of talking about like, hey, what do you like? What's this? We said this is a perfect bag for anyone who wants to get in a quick 9. Like you want to get in a quick 9 holes. This is I don't gotta lug everything with me. I just have this bag ready and I can walk with it and get a quick 9 holes in.
Yep.
Like that's an amazing thing to have.
I don't have to take one bag out of my car and strap it to something else, and it's ready to go.
A lot of the guys down in Florida, the older guys, they play 9, and like you said, they don't like to take the extra card out. They can just take the bag out, pull a handle up, and go play golf, play the executive courses down there. And that's
it. That was directed at you.
Wow.
The old guys in Florida.
So Corey, this, like what you said, this bag is so different than your traditional push-pull cart models that are out there. Like you said, the 3-wheel design that you felt like you were pushing up a hill. How has it been trying to, break into, this side of the industry?
Well, it's been hard. A lot of golfers are set in their ways. Even my own friends that love it. Now I got all my guys using it, of course. And at the beginning, they were like, but I'm slowly breaking in, 5 bags, 8 bags. I have a lot of European guys love it. I sent a bag to a pro in Denmark. He wants to try and play it. I sent it to New Zealand. I sent it to Canada. So we're doing a lot of international stuff. That's been really cool. So
yeah, that's it. Because I was, I'll be honest. The first time I saw it, I went, really? And then I used after 3 holes, I'm like, sold, done.
Yeah,
and I get the European market too because that's walking is more prevalent over there.
Yes.
And that's where I think this is great. But like we said, COVID, walking here has now become a better choice too.
Yeah. And so Corey, with those bags, and now you're saying you're sending them international, and you have all these different people, playing and trying it out. And I know for me, I went through a couple different setups, with the bag, trying to find the right way. And each person wants to set up their bag their own way. But during the design process, how did club placement figure into the handle location? And is there a way that you recommend putting clubs in this bag over like a traditional stand bag or a cart bag?
I like to put my clubs, the longer clubs, away from the handle. And it also, when you put it on the cart, it's better that way also, because then you have your putter in front and the bigger clubs in the back. And on the top of the bag, I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 loops where the strap goes around. I don't know if you used it, but on the top of the bag, when you put it on a motor cart, there's 2 straps, one on each side.
Yep.
So it keeps the strap away from your. I don't like when it's in the way of your side pockets.
Yep. No, I went through that. And for me, I put my clubs in like the traditional way when I started, and I was pulling. I'm like, wow, this handle and my driver just isn't making sense. And I'm like, let me try moving some things around here.
Right.
And, once I moved, my driver and my woods, down to the bottom of the bag, away from the handle,
Yep.
It was a light bulb kind of went off, and I'm like, why was I such an idiot before? Teed you guys up again. There we go. Thank you very much. Let's just move on here.
We were trying to make the handle even bigger to get it out of the way. But then it's
on TV.
Then it, like when you put the handle too big, too long, because I could click that handle out as much as I want.
Yeah.
But it just starts to be a little, it kind of looks stupid and it's kind of too long. So we kind of settled on about the same height as the driver.
Okay.
So,
and it's right. If it, Steve had that picture of, mine up there, and it's really right in line with, where my head cover was. And, but I think once I switched it for me, once I switched those clubs around, because that was a shot with my, driver up near the handle. Once I switched that and, my wedges, it became a whole lot different pull feeling, for me. So what's your next step here with the bag? What comes next?
Well, we already started designing a new one because I have a lot of ideas. This is our very first one. And, it takes a long time to get to that. And I wanted to get it on the market just to see what the market was like. And I talked to a lot of people in the industry, and certain bags like this are out there on the market also. So right now, I'm working on a new concept of it. Maybe the handle will bend instead of staying straight. Maybe a leather bag that's nice, a little nicer looking and different colors. Right now, I'm stuck with the 3 colors. So, but we're working on some new stuff now to get out for hopefully in the next year.
Let me ask, because it's one of the things that we talk about here. Is there the idea of being able, like if somebody wanted to custom the bag for themselves, is there an idea down the line for that?
Well, yes, because I'm getting into a lot of colleges, and I have to get them made for like Coastal or Nassau Community College, and even the high schools down here. They love the bag. They would take 10, but it's so hard to get them produced right now. And, to do 10 bags and it costs you $400 a bag, it's just not worth it. It's just not, feasible money-wise. But that's my next step is going to be to customize them all. You could have your name on them. Probably going to take the Revolve Golf off, just maybe one spot. And then this way I could do anything, anything, any kind of customization.
We're big into customization here. We love having custom stuff on the golf course because it adds that personal touch. And I think I think you have a great idea, especially for high school and college players, because they don't have caddies. They're not using carts. They're walking. This is a pull cart that they can use. I think that's a great market to get into. But
and the other idea, Greg, from a college standpoint is most of these colleges now are traveling with push carts to begin with. Yeah. So from a travel, it's one less bag you got to throw in an airplane because you can throw that in the travel bag and keep going.
Yeah, it's so easy. And we even showed how easy it was to pop the wheels off to travel with. That was a brilliant design.
That's another thing I'm working on the wheels because I don't want the axles to be that long. That was something that we were stuck on. And right now we're coming up with a one-piece base where that the tube is going to be built right into the base. So the axles can only be maybe an inch long instead of like 2.5 that they
Yeah,
are.
that was my follow-up question. Like, how would this bag travel, like in a in a bag on an airplane, with the axles?
We're coming up with a hard cover to go over it, and maybe the wheels could pop off with a little hole, and you put the wheels back on, and the handle could come through a little slit, and you go. It's a hard travel bag, and it slides down. The wheels pop out, and we're going to put a little side brackets to hold the wheels.
That's brilliant. If you have that,
it's awesome. Just me. I'm the company, and I'm back. I'm putting out all the money and stuff, so I'm kind of working slowly. I have to work slowly.
Well, so speaking of that, Corey, where can people find you, and how can someone? So our viewers like to buy stuff. So where would they be able to buy one of these bags or order one? I know you said your inventory is not, but down the line, where can they get these from?
Right now, they can go on revolvegolf.com and buy them right there. And I'm going to do a special code for you guys. If they put in golfing dads, they get $50 off the bag.
Awesome.
Sweet.
So right now they can get $50 off. I'm going to put in, all they have to do is golfing dads and go to revolvegolf.com. And I also sell them on Amazon. Right now I'm on Amazon. And I'm working on a Facebook store and stuff like that. So
that's that's really awesome. And I know our friends over at Tag Golf. They have their Amazon store as well too. And I think for businesses, small businesses, especially, it works out really well when you can have multiple platforms to get it out at. And your product, it's definitely one of a kind, and it was absolutely enjoyable, to use. And we appreciate, you sending us that to test out and get a few pictures with it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate
thank you.
it.
And Corey, thank you for joining us tonight. I know we're taking away from some family time for you, and definitely want to say thank you for joining us tonight. And so I'm going to leave with one question. What's your favorite course in Myrtle Beach?
My favorite course? Probably the one I played today, True Blue.
Ooh, nice.
I think I like it a little better than Caledonia, but I do like Caledonia too.
Nice. I'm a big fan of both of those. Yeah, I'm a big fan of those. And I did like the die at Barefoot. That's another one of my favorites. Great layout too. So, and I've played Tidewater a bunch, and that place never disappoints. So, but yeah, no. So, well, thank you for joining us tonight. We enjoyed having you on, and we will be in touch soon again. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, Corey.
Guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
What a product. I mean, Dave, you used it. I thought some of the features, like I pulled the cart, like when you were like up on the hole and the cart was back a little bit further. I got it for you one time. And the thing that I thought was neat was that when you're pulling it, you just flip it over, boom, legs pop out.
Yeah, legs pop out. And it was an absolutely wonderful, cart to use. And I think next time,
I just gotta say what's up to this guy, because
what's up to that guy?
What's up?
I gotta say what's up to that guy. There we go. All right, Dave, go back to what you're doing.
The Shank and Duff Show joining us. And I appreciate your parents letting us, leave the bag, there for other people to get to use when they go play with your dad, or for one of us to have next time we're there.
I'm going to use it the next time I'm there, because I put my clubs that I leave there in it. So now I can just use that when I'm walking on the course. But yeah, it's great. So if you guys come back,
less space you have to use, and you can bring more things for Ollie now.
Exactly. That's the key.
That's key.
Traveling as a dad is being like a Sherpa going up the mountain. So
Everest.
We all
it's
we
going
all know
up
that.
number 1 at Augusta.
Hey, I will tell you, when he said he designed this for Bethpage, that is an unbelievable hilly course. Like you can tell on TV how hilly that is, but it's even worse in person. Like I know exactly where he's talking about when he's like, oh, pushing a push cart down this would have been a nightmare. But that bag honestly makes perfect sense for that course. Like,
and I'd honestly never thought about, let me pick this up and carry it. but that it makes perfect sense, especially around the greens. Or he made a great point. Cart path only. Pop it off the cart, take it with you, and you don't have to worry about, I grabbed the wrong club.
I never play in cart path only conditions here.
90 degrees. What?
That's all Florida is. Well, with that, boy.
Oh, baby.
It's time for last call.
It is time for last call. And what does that mean when it's time for last call?
I've upgraded our show with videos this week.
We have video. Nothing like a shameless plug.
We're getting better.
Right, so we've got a runner-up this week for Smack of the Week, and this will be posted here shortly. I need to give kudos to my boy Nick from Dinger's Golf that took this video yesterday. And this, unfortunately, is me. And sometimes you have to take your squares off in order to hit a golf shot, although I don't like doing it. I hit my drive on this par 4 and ended up down there, literally a foot from death. Fortunately, there were no alligators in that pond.
Well, the best part is you didn't duff it then into the water.
I did not. I thought about that.
Do you still have your socks on there, Steve? Oh, no, wait, you're just white.
I'm just white. That's just my bad tan line. So,
but you know what we didn't talk about was that shot on 14. Speaking of almost being in the water at RBC.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Saved by the railroad tie?
Yes. Like, I want to get back to that, because that was an amazing and tough decision.
Yeah.
But it goes back to it takes Cantley an hour to make a decision.
Yes.
Correct. There's that.
But he did speed up play for one hole when he aced it.
That is true. That is true.
But our Smack of the Week is definitely found this one today, and this definitely has to be it.
What happens when your buddies want to play Modern Warfare on PlayStation or Xbox? You're on the court.
Right. All right. So wrong answers only. What did they come in and get him for?
I got a few of them. Number one, this is what happens when you call out Trump for cheating on a golf course.
Yeah,
this is what happens. You get, the military just comes in and takes you away.
This is what happens when you order pineapple on pizza from Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Lee from the top rope, Wedge FX, ladies and gentlemen. He should not have had iron covers on.
Lee, did you see my post today? I'm going with PXG iron covers. Hashtag iron covers.
I'm just going to say his buddy staged this because his wife wasn't going to let him go on a golf vacation, and they were coming in to abduct him to take him on a golf vacation. So
this is what happens when you don't pay out your bets on the golf course. You lost on the 18th hole. And your buddy.
Can you help the judge? Can you help the judge find his checkbook?
That's exactly what this is.
That's exactly what this is.
Pawn's good for you.
Pawn would be good for you. Yeah.
So I got that going for me,
which is nice. So let's see what else we got to talk about this week. We get the Cantley's hole-in-one. I mean, Cantley made his par 3 issues and fun over the weekend.
That's how he has to speed up his play, and I get you're playing for millions of dollars, but when on that hole, and I get it's a tough shot, but Fitzpatrick and Spieth, like, they should have just had a camera on the two of them while he was making this decision, because every time they panned over to him, they were like,
they looked like Koepka when DeChambeau walked behind him with metal spikes.
Can I just say, Steve, I've told you this 100 times. The thing that pisses me off about the Live Tour is they broke up that drama. Like,
Right.
I miss more than anything the Brooks Koepka eye roll and the hatred for DeChambeau, because that was the greatest drama on tour, and it was brilliant, and I wish it was back.
Right. Totally need to bring that back. Yeah, no, that was, we could go find that video, I'm sure, somewhere and post that too. We could talk about that.
That should be on everywhere, because I love that when you just
No, Lee, that's not why the helicopter came.
I mean, not wrong.
I mean, we all watched that first putt. Like,
he
down the hole.
He had the putter up. He thought he had it. The announcers thought he had it. Didn't have it.
I mean, that was a hell of a finish. Like, I'm going to go back to that. And what I can't say enough about the RBC and the event that they put on, and the event that the Heritage Foundation puts on. What the interesting thing that I thought about the RBC that I didn't know, it's one of only a few invitationals on tour. Do you know how many invitationals are on the tour schedule?
Yeah,
I want to say 3.
Nope.
You're not far off, though.
4. It's RBC. Is it 5?
Wrong.
No,
it's 5.
Does
5?
Augusta count?
Augusta does not count. The majors don't count.
RBC, Bay Hill,
the Memorial, the Genesis.
Colonial,
No.
Pebble.
No, Pebble's not invitational. I should have written this down.
What's the other one?
Robert, I don't think you need an alibi.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
The Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Charles Schwab Challenge, the Memorial Tournament, and the Genesis
Colonial.
Invitational plus the RBC. So it is the Colonial.
It is Colonial. Dave, you're right.
Yep.
Hey, win for me.
There you go.
One time.
So yeah, that was, I thought, one of the cool things about that tour. I didn't know that was only one of 5 invitationals.
Yeah.
On tour. So
It's why Steve's placement this week was worse than his Masters miscut.
Yep. Thank you, Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
Damn you.
Yeah, that was sad to watch, because he was up there, and
I look at the end of the day on Saturday and I'm like, where's Victor? He was up there. Lost 50 spots. What? 78. That was cute.
that was a drop. Like,
Oh,
Scotty dropped, but Scotty didn't drop as far as Victor.
Robert with the tiger knock.
And I thought Fleetwood was gonna.
Tiger could afford the helicopter.
Could have bought the helicopter.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, this was a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what, I mean, you think, how do you follow up the Masters? There it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I do think when you go back to, Rory and his $3 million fine from the tour, from his PIP money, I think the tour does need to do something about the amount of events these guys have played up and front loaded all of these designated events and spreading them out throughout the year, because I think it's been especially these guys, it's taking a toll on them. But I say that they play golf for a freaking living.
Yeah.
But
like,
I will say,
I think Rom said it best. He's like, I'm going to come. It's for the kids.
well, and Rom also said
I'm going to be there.
he gave props to Jordan when he won the Masters and came to the Heritage the next week. And he went and he said, Rahm goes, I didn't go to New York and do all of that stuff, like all of the like talk shows, where Spieth did, and then came to the Heritage and tied 11th.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I think that it's, I'm intrigued to see what elevated events stay next year on the tour schedule and what they move around. And I think that's going to be where we see, because I do think an event like RBC, they may move that to move RBC to the Canadian Open, the RBC Canadian Open, to give them that event, to make that event elevated at some point.
I think they keep the Heritage just because it's tough that it's after, but I think they just need to look at their schedule because they're trying to do too much now and be reactive to what's going on with the tours and everything like that. And they just need to step back and say, okay, how do we want to do this? Where do we want to do this? And what's going to happen when you throw in that Tiger and Rory event thing that they're going to be doing? Like
Monday night,
how are you going to change that up? What's that going to be like on the tour schedule? So I think you are going to see a shakeup in where events are. I'm hoping they bring back the match play in some sort somewhere.
I don't see it.
I know, but I'm hoping they do. I said that's I like that. I like the team event this week. I like doing these different things. And I will go back to this is what I like over Live, in the sense that they don't focus on the team event every week. They're focused on the players. If they wanted to do a team thing, then just do a team thing.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a team thing this week. It's partners rather than like a 4-ball. It's just
I'm looking forward to the LPGA partnership too.
Yeah,
coming up.
Right, you have that event coming in the fall. Yeah, the Grant Thornton event. I think the challenge that I see with this week, and Dave, like you mentioned, we've talked about this before. You have this. The one thing that we have struggled in from a Ryder Cup and President, we really haven't struggled in it from a President's Cup perspective, but the one thing we've struggled in the Ryder Cup perspective is alternate shot. And I feel like this week gives the players a chance to play 2 rounds of alternate shot, and it makes it a little better for them to get out and practice and do these different things and to get used to playing with your partner. And I do think that they really need to take a long, hard look and say, do we make this, is this, you got to play this week in order to play on the President's Cup or the Ryder Cup teams, just so that you can get used to playing in that format.
I think that's where I think this event would need to move more to the end of the season, not as far down in the end of the season, but you would play it closer to the Ryder Cup and President's Cup, so that you're closer to that preparation.
Yeah.
Like
here's the time you'd have to move it out, and you'd have to move it from New Orleans because you can't go to New Orleans that time of year.
That's true.
You got to go to New Orleans now. You can't go to New Orleans late in the year.
But I think if you moved it right before they're trying to make like captain's picks and things like that, like it could be a way that people can kind of show that, hey, you might have been considering me, but now you can see how I play as a team, and maybe that's going to help me get over the edge and get on the team.
Yeah,
that's how I would use it, and it works for both because the European players can do the same thing. They can, and it would make it like almost a exhibition match for the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right. I mean, that would be that'd be good. I do think that, here's the question. They announced, and we didn't talk about this. They announced the fall events, the 7 fall events now, and the points that are going to be associated with that and for the reshuffle. A lot of familiar events. In fact, they're all former events that would have been on the tour. So they're giving them a 2-week break around the Ryder Cup. So that is good. And I think the the challenging thing that I see is that I think you can get, if you play great in these fall events, if you're a PGA Tour rookie coming out or things like that, and you're trying to make money and secure your card, it's another opportunity, another venue for you to do that.
Yeah.
I think the other thing it does is it gives those guys, especially as next year, as they go to the limited field events for the designated events, that's going to give you more. That's going to give you another shot to get into those fields.
And it gives us a chance to see John Daly and David Duval paired together.
Well, that's this week, not that.
Yeah.
But I think it fills that gap that they were trying to find with that whole, like, the top 25 will be in like the designated guaranteed. Like, it lets you build back into that section of like the bottom 50 or bottom 25 of the top 50.
Yeah.
So
because it's going to be hard to crack that top 70 number, because it's literally like the guys that are going to be in there, because the money they're going to be making and what they're going to be getting there are going to stay there.
Yeah. I mean, this week, Fitzpatrick made more than Rahm did at the Masters.
Yeah,
that's true. And Jordan made more this year coming in second than he did last year in winning Harbour Town.
That's also true.
So.
All right. Well,
yeah. So that's what we got. Next week's show, previewing, what's the event after New Orleans?
Something that we should know.
I'm looking now. Tournament schedule. I should know this. I want to say it's Texas, but it may not be.
Next week.
They go to Mexico. They go to Mexico. That's right.
Yep.
They go to Mexico, and then they go to
where Rahm's the defending champion.
Yes.
I want to see if he shows up back down there. And then they go to Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if you saw that Mexico event become a designated event at some point.
That's true. I think that I wonder if when they come up with like a permanent list of those designated events.
I think you're going to see the permanent ones that you will see are Memorial, Bay Hill, and the Genesis.
Yeah.
And then I think you see them, and obviously the players will remain as one. But I also think that you're going to see the other ones like Hartford and Harbour Town and a few of the other ones. I see them trying to rotate those.
That could work.
Because they had already made Memorial and Bay Hill kind of elevated anyway. They were paying more. They were giving longer.
Those are the
5
players.
Yeah, you get a 5-year exemption versus a 2-year exemption if you win. And they were trying to do that. Unfortunately, because they were afraid that after Mr. Palmer passed away, they were afraid that the players were going to stop showing up. That he was the only reason that they were showing up for his event.
Well, they're going to show up out of respect now. Like that's
right. Yeah. And the $20 million on the line. The $20 million on the line makes it easier to show up. So.
Well, thank you for coming to the Tavern tonight. And don't forget.
Thank you to Corey from Revolve Golf as well.
Yes.
And thank you to Corey for joining us tonight. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, and we will see you next week, 8 o'clock.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.